So thank you, everyone. First of all, giving me an opportunity for this tech webinar Nepal, and good evening, everyone, for joining this session on Sunday. So in today's webinar, we will be talking about embracing remote work using Microsoft Teams. So myself, Vijay Anand, and then I'm working as a technology architect in Cognizant. I have overall 11 years of experience and as a technical architect. And my main expertise is in SharePoint, Office 365, Azure, and Microsoft Teams. And I'm on Microsoft MVP as well as a C Sharp Corner MVP, and I do a lot of blogging, authoring books, and also I have delivered a lot of sessions in public events, webinars, conferences, mostly related to the Microsoft products. Okay, so I have written overall like 1,200 blogs and 7 books, and delivered close to 25 sessions in last 2 years. Okay, so quickly getting into this remote work. So as you all know, like last few months, starting from March, due to this COVID and pandemic situation, like we all started working or shifted towards remote work. Right. So this is our current new reality, right? Like it's been 4 months now, and not sure like how for how long it is going to be continued. But almost like most of us have shifted to remote work, right? So, so remote everything. It's not just only the IT field. It's all complete world, all the industries. Lot of things have completely turned to a remote, right? And if you see specifically, like these are the things, right? Contactless shopping, like mainly the shopping and everything now became completely remote selling, curbside pickup, and virtual events. Like a lot of events, like if you see the conferences, meetings, and everything became as a virtual events. Like at least till next year mid. So most of the major conferences or events, even the Microsoft that is going to conduct, it's all become virtual events. Right? Previously, like if you see like myself, at least at 2 events I just go and attend in person or conferences, but now next at least till the next year it's all going to be the virtual events, all major conferences from Microsoft, Google, and everything, right? And it's, as I mentioned, it's just not only the IT industry, it's also the every industries, right? Even the remote learning. So considering the education part, the schooling and colleges, schools and colleges, now if you see, they started all the online classes, it's all became as a virtual classes or on demand sessions, right? So that is what it is. And if you see telemedicine, like healthcare industries, even the virtual visits have started happening, right? You cannot go in person and do it, so you have virtual meets. Okay, secure remote teamwork, remote development. So being an IT professionals, like we are also started doing all the remote work, right? So this is how it all everything becomes remote today. And if you consider myself also, like last few months, like 4 months, I've worked for almost 2 to 3 customers, and also I'm working for Cognizant. So everything has become remotely. So I've not even went to office even a single day. I started working from home, and but still, like we are able to deliver the things. We are able to work with the customers closely, work with the employees closely, work with the associates, developers without any impact. Right. So that is what like we are able to deliver successfully in the last few months. Right. Even though we are not able to go to office. Okay, so certain scenarios, if you see, these are the few scenarios when it comes to remote work, right? So, especially like we need to be able to collaborate or communicate with other people, right? And it's not just like it involves all the things, right? You need to connect with the business users, you need to connect with the customers, clients, you need to work with the associates or employees. So everywhere it needs to be you need to communicate and collaborate, and also like you should be able to access the data and applications that you have it. Okay, and it should be in a secured manner, right? You cannot just, it should be very careful in accessing all those things in a secure manner because all these things are data, right? So, and also the devices basically, and how you can automate the business process or adapt your business process rapidly. So there are certain other things also like 4 and 5, you see how you can sell service and deliver on customer expectations, being the, even though you are not going to office in a remote environment, right? And also to keep the developers productive as a distributed team. So these are all few of scenarios that comes into picture, okay, like when it comes to the remote work. Okay, so when you talk about all these things, right? So how Microsoft is helping us to enable the remote work, right? So here mainly we are going to talk about the Microsoft Teams and Office 365. Okay, so how Microsoft is helping us, like if you see in last few months, Microsoft has most of the organizations have started utilizing Microsoft Teams. Even I worked for two customers, and recently they moved from the Sky for Business, or they have upgraded it to Teams due to this COVID conditions, due to this remote working and all those things, right? So how Microsoft is really helping us to enable our remote work. So one, these are the two important things, right? So you should enable the people and the teams to be productive from anywhere. Okay, it can be irrespective of, you can be in office, you can be in work, and also like it can be like a what do you call, like from any device also, right? Hey, from any device you should be productive, right? So if you see, these are the things actually enable people to meet. So consider that every organization will have different sort of people, right? It's not like everyone will be having the same sort of work or same type of work. The works are different, and it will be different. So irrespective of all these things, irrespective of devices, so you should be able to engage people and teams, and it should be productive, right? So these are the few points, right? Meeting, collaborating, engaging the employees by certain sort of announcements or news. Okay, and it should be accessible from any applications or any devices. And also the one important thing is, as you mentioned, it should be able to securely access your applications, data and devices. Okay, so this is how the Microsoft is helping us to enable our remote work. Okay, so we'll see each and everything, like whatever we have seen here, we'll see in detail each and every topic. Okay, so how it is really helpful. So the first thing is enabling the people to meet and collaborate from home, right? So what are the things that comes over here? So as I mentioned, like we have different types of workers and they have different needs, right? So what Microsoft Teams does is like it gives like a single platform for different types of people or different types of workers. Okay, so it can be in healthcare, it can be in education systems, it can be an IT industry, whatever it is, because everyone will have their different needs. But what Microsoft has done is they bought these teams where everyone can collaborate easily without, irrespective of whatever field you are, right? So if you consider information workers like us, like information workers, so they need to be mainly collaborating and they need to be able to communicate with the team members and they should be productive, right? So team is the right place for that. And first line workers, obviously first line workers will be not using a laptops, or every time they will be carrying the laptops and all those things, right? So obviously they will be using the mobile devices. So obviously the Microsoft Teams is available. It's just not in the desktop app or something. It is also available as a mobile app. So it helps the first line workers to install the app in their mobile and easily collaborate with the other team members and communicate with them and do their work very productive, right? And similarly, healthcare. So in case like when it comes to healthcare, there are few apps available, and also like where the virtual visits, you don't need to go to doctor in person and have a visit over there. So you have a virtual visits. And coming to schools, like colleges, they have virtual online classes, on-demand classes, and everything, right? And even the government also, right? So it for like it, irrespective of anything, it comes like it's a single place, like it's a tool available for everyone, right? So considering like this is the this is what we are talking about, right? So in this complete throughout the session, we'll be discussing about Microsoft Teams, how you can make use of this effectively and productive, make it productive when you're working remotely. Right, most of the organization has started shifting towards remote work. I'm not sure next up how many months it is going to be like this, and in the future we are not sure about that. Right, so Microsoft Teams is like a kind of one stop for everything. Okay, it's a single place. It's a hub for teamwork. It brings everything for the team in a single place, basically, right? So if you see in our day-to-day activities, like generally I'm talking about Microsoft Teams. So when you take day-to-day activities, we closely work with a lot of apps and tools, right? So for example, for email conversations, we use Microsoft Outlook, or for a chatting purpose, we use Skype. For meetings, we use WebEx or some other things, right? And also like we use a SharePoint for storing the documentation, so collaborating with the documentations. Like this, we are using multiple applications, and we might have different apps that we are using on our day-to-day activities. So Microsoft Teams is a kind of one stop for all these things, which brings everything in single place, right? You don't need to go to different places or different apps to do your day-to-day activities, right? That is what the Microsoft Teams is. So if you see the first one, like meetings and calling, right? So if you see, you can see the right side, there is a highlighted one, calendar and calls. So basically, when you want to schedule the meetings, or if you want to have a call, if you want to connect with someone through voice calls or video calls, you have an options available in this Microsoft Teams, right? Coming to the next one is chat and collaboration. Obviously, like when it comes to chat, like you can do a one-to-one chat, group chats, right? And the collaboration, also co-authoring, working with the documents and all those things. So we will come in detail, each and everything in detail we will discuss on that, just giving an overview what is about Microsoft Teams and what are the high level features that is available over here, right? Coming next, so if you see chat and collaboration, you're on the right hand side also, you can see the chat has been highlighted over here, so it is an app available over here. And the next one is apps and workflows. It's just not only for chatting, collaboration, and meetings and callings, right? You can integrate multiple apps into Microsoft Teams. Easily you can integrate those things, right? All the Office 365 apps like a Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and a Planner, Stream, SharePoint. Okay, these are also a few Office 365 apps which you can integrate it in Microsoft Teams easily. And apart from that, it's not only just Office 365 apps or Microsoft apps. You can also integrate non-Microsoft apps also. Okay, so they currently, if you see, there are more than 200 or 250 apps which you can integrate with Microsoft Teams very easily. Okay, you don't need to write any code, or you don't need to do any sort of a, development thing to integrate all these apps into one single place, right? So it's all been out of the box features where you can just bring all those apps available here. And apart from that, you can automate the business process. There are tools available for that. And also, like on top of all these things, features which are available, what you can also do is you can build your own custom, or you can extend the features of Teams and build your own custom apps or line of business apps and integrate it with it. Okay, so this is like a kind of up for everything. It's These are the major features that you see, but there are a lot of other features also which we can see in detail in the coming slides, right? So if you see, like a first thing, like we will be getting into one by one topic now. So one is the online meetings, right? What is the online meetings? So if you want to connect with someone, right? If you want to connect with someone, it is easy. Like you can just go and schedule a meeting with them. Right, and also if you see, it is easy for them, even though you're working from office, even though you're working from home or office or any other place, it is like you don't need to worry about any of these things. Like it can be of any platform. Okay, platform. It can be of any devices, like you can use mobile, you can use laptop, right? And it's really not required that you should be installing some plugins, right? So for example, like even I can invite someone who is outside my organization. Okay, so for example, if I'm working with a vendor and I need to invite them for the meeting, so what I can do is I just need the email address alone, right? So once I have the email address, I can invite them and they no need to have that plugin or app installed in their laptop or mobile, right? So they can use the browser itself directly and they can join the call. So it makes the life easy. You can join from anything. Like you can have your mobile app, you can have your desktop app, or even you can just use the browsers, right? And also in case if you don't have internet connectivity, or if you're traveling, you're not able to join the app and join the call, you have the audio conferencing also, you can dial in. Okay, so these are the things that are available as part of when you want to connect with people and collaborate with them, right? It is makes easy. Even though you are not in office, you can just directly go, turn on your camera and talk to them like how you are doing it in office, right? And also, like, obviously, like, since we are working from home, like, there will be always a lot of distractions, right? You will have a kids and you will definitely have some sort of distractions. So what they have done is, what Microsoft has done is, you can use some background blur images. Okay, so there are background images available which you can use it. So and also, recently they have introduced the custom background images or custom background images. You can upload your custom background things. Okay, so that's how you can distract what is happening in the background. And also, even in the future, they are planning to come even the voice. Okay, so they are planning to improve the voice also, so there should not be any distractions related to that. So all these things are coming up. Okay, so next thing is, like, if you see, hold a team update or brainstorming session. Obviously, like, when you are working in office, we go to a conference hall or a conference room where we have a session with multiple people for brainstorming sessions, right? So here also, even though if you're working from home or working remotely, even you can do the same thing by joining the Teams meeting, right? You can join the Teams meeting and you can easily integrate Microsoft Whiteboard to do the brainstorming session, right? And also, in order to keep your team updates, there are a lot of things, like you can create teams, you can have the channels where you will do some announcements or updates provided to your team, and so that you are working together, right? So, and also delivering the training workshop. So if in case if you want to deliver some workshops or any sort of events, obviously you can do it, all those things. Okay, so one important thing that we need to remember is, we no need to worry about what device are we using it. It can be a desktop, it can be a mobile, it can be just a browser, and also the platform. It can be Android, iOS, Mac, or Windows. Right, so all these options are available over here. And also, when the meeting is going on, you have an option to for live captions. Okay, and even you can record the meeting. So for example, if you're having a workshop kind of thing with your customers where you're discussing about some projects, you need to record that session. Yes, you can record that, and it gets stored in Microsoft Stream, right? And what happens is, it has a out of the box powerful AI features which helps you to create the transcript for that video, and you can do a keyword search within the video, right? So, and it also creates all the captions. So all these features are available by default. You no need to do anything specific to that. Okay, this is how you can make use of online meetings, like a videos and chat. Okay, and where you can interact with your team even though you're working remotely. Okay. So coming to next topic, like calling, right? So obviously this is one of the critical thing when we are working remotely. You need to be connected with your team, right? So I'll just quickly, instead of slide, I'll just quickly go through that one and open the Teams, and I'll show you that one. Okay. So if you go to Teams, and in case if you want to make any calls, by default you have an option to make the calls, which is called VoIP calls. Okay, through the internet it happens, you don't need to pay anything for that. Okay, so you have that option available. It comes by default. Okay, in case if I want to make a call to someone, like, I can just give dial in, type for the name, and I can give the call to them. right? When I'm making the call itself, when it goes to that, what will happen is you will be still like you are unable to have a chat with them. You will be able to chat and you will be able to share your screen. So all those features are available when you're doing the audio or video calls, right? And also, like as I mentioned, calls are natively part of Teams collaboration. It just like it allows, makes it easy. You just go there, search for the name, and then you click on either you want to have an audio call or video call. And in the same call, you can do the chatting. You can have a what do you call it? You can share your screens and whatever like those features are available, right? And also on top of that, one more important point is when you're working in office, obviously most of us will have the desktop phones, right? So we will be using the desktop phones, Cisco or something like that, right? So what Microsoft is providing us here is it is giving you the phone system service also to you. Okay, it's just like basically a soft phone kind of thing. If you see, I don't have it in my thing, so that's why I'm just showing the screenshot over here. If you see here, you will have a dialing pad like this where you can dial into the external numbers or external mobile numbers, everything. It's like exactly like how you use your desktop phone. So this is a service available within Microsoft 365 called as phone system, where you can enable that and create the numbers for your employees and provide to them. Okay, and also like it just a phone system is provided, but you need to purchase add-on kind of thing, which is like calling plans. You have a domestic calling plan, you have an international calling plan. Based on your need, you can get those calling plans and use it accordingly. Okay, otherwise if you don't want to, if it is a small organization where I don't want to have all these things enabled, yes, you can just use the default native callings things and the video calls. Okay, but with this, you will not be able to dial into the to the mobile number or something. But within your organization, it allows you to have a audio or video calls. Okay, so it's just not only within your organization. It can be done also outside the organization. As I mentioned, once you have the phone system, you can easily do that. And also, like if you go to your profile, okay, so you can go to the settings. So here you have some settings available for calling features like voicemail, forward my calls, right? You can configure all your voicemails and everything from this particular place. Like you just need to go to your profile and settings, and in the settings you have call features, call settings. So where you can enable all these features available, well, can enable all these features. Okay.
So meanwhile, we have a bunch of question.
Yeah.
What are the pricing for calling plan? So is there is any pricing that is being declared?
Yes, there are there are plans for that in docs.microsoft.com. We have all those details, how much is the cost and everything has been available. What I can do is I can in the presentation, I can add that as a reference while I'm sharing it.
Okay, sure. And there is another question: can call outside my country in landline or mobile? So can we do call outside
Yeah.
the country?
That's what the calling plan is of two types. One is the domestic calling plan, and the other one is international and domestic calling plan. So when you get that international and domestic calling plan, obviously you will be able to make calls outside. And there are certain restrictions also. In certain countries, you will not be able to get the calling plans. So all those information is available. I'll show you share you the link for that.
Okay, sure. And we have a last question that how to integrate Teams with whiteboard. So is there is miss we need to integrate or there is a features
There is
for the
it is
white.
an it is a by it is a default thing app kind of thing which is available. You just need to add that to your teams.
Okay, sure. Okay,
Okay.
so you can continue your presentation.
Yeah, sure. So now we have seen the online meetings, and then second thing we saw was a calling features. The next important thing is like how you can collaborate easily with your inside or outside your organization, right? So again, inside and outside in the sense there are two things. So you can collaborate with the associates within your organization. Also, you have a ability to collaborate with outside your organization. Also you have external sharing enabled, guest access enabled. So all these features, it's available at the admin center. It's all like a kind of settings or policies that you need to enable it. Okay, once you enable it, then you can invite the external users also to the Microsoft Teams, and you can collaborate with them. Okay, so now quickly go to the chats. What are the chats available and how you can collaborate effectively? Okay, so as you all know, like you can do a one-to-one chat. So here, if you see here, you can have a chat over here, right? So there is one more. So this is hiding. So okay, so in case if you want to chat, right? So this is the command box that you have it. So just type the forward slash. You can see the list of activities or list of things that you can do it. Okay, so these are like a kind of shortcut kind of thing. So in case if I want to chat with someone, what I need to do is just forward slash and click on this. Okay, and immediately it gives me display all the users, right? It suggests me some certain users. Okay, for example, I want to chat with this particular person, Vignesh. So what I will do, I'll just click on it and I'll type something. Just enter it. Okay. So hello Vignesh. So if you see here, this has been came here. So within this one-to-one chat, you have an option. It's just not only the chatting thing. You have an option to do an audio call. If you just want to connect with this person immediately, you have an audio call. You have a video call. You can do the screen sharing, and also you can do all your file sharing. Also, you can share some documents to him. Okay, and also like you have other rich text features over here. So for example, when I click on this one, you can see here how a normal rich text feature will be there. You can do all those things over here. And also in case if I want to make some message important, okay, I want to make this message important. So if you see here delivery options, you can set the delivery options as important or urgent. Okay, so if you select urgent, this will be notified every 2 minutes for 20 minutes. Okay, so I'll just click on this, and once I enter, so this will be considered as an urgent message. Okay, in case if and also if you see here, it's not just for a professional chatting, right? Obviously you need to work, you need to discuss something with your co-workers, not just a work related, right? Even casually you want to talk to him. So that's why what Microsoft Teams has done is like they have other things also, like emojis, jiffies and all those things, stickers and all those things, right? It's not purely for like a professional discussions alone. Like you might need to work with the other team members, and you might need to have casual discussions also. Being now we shifted to remote work, these things are really important, just not work related things alone, right? Obviously when you're in office, you'll go for a break or something like that where you'll have a casual discussions. Now all those things have been stopped. So that's why like you can do all those things from here itself. So they have provided all those options, just not for work related things alone. Okay, in case if I want to add someone over here, I can add people. Okay, so for example, I'll just add someone else here. Madhumita, I'll add them. Okay, and so two people will be there, and again the chat will be starting here. And in case if I want to add one more person to this group chat, okay, so for example, mm, add people. So when I'm adding the third person, because already Madhumita and Vignesh, right? So they have done a lot of discussions over here. Okay, so for example, if you see, I'm just a few messages they have discussed. Okay, so if I want to add a new person, it will ask, don't include the chat history. Okay, whatever Vignesh and Madhumita previously chatted, that should not be shown, or include history from the past number of days, or include all the chat history. Okay, so this option is available. So when you're having a group chat, when you want to add additional people, you have these options available. Okay, and easily, like if you see, you can collaborate with the co-author files and keep track of all the conversations, right? When you're working with the teams, right? I'll just quickly go to teams and give an overview on that. Okay, so consider this is a Teams one. I have already created the Contoso team. Okay, so when you work with a group of people, obviously when you're working with a project, there will be a certain set of people working in that particular project, and we need to have a lot of discussions happening, email conversations need to be done, and all those things. So what we can do is, in order to collaborate effectively, that is what in our current projects also, like I'm working on 2 to 3 projects. In all the projects, we have a teams created where all the conversations, where all the file sharing, where all the collaboration work is done over there. Okay, so in case if I want to search something, it is easy for me to go to one place and do everything. Okay, previously what it used to happen is like it will be a Outlook, right? You will be there will be getting lot of emails. You need to go and search. Now what happened is you create a team for this particular project. Okay, so for example, contest. Okay, so here you will have by default you will have a general channel created, right? So in the general channel you can do all sort of like general conversations related to that project. When is it delivery and what is a like a demo has to happen. Okay, just like a general discussions, and all these conversations are keep like a tracked. Okay, it's like it will be available anytime. Okay, so everyone will be looking into it, and if you want to assign something to someone, okay, Vijay, you need to review this particular document, it has been posted over here, so I cannot just escape. I didn't receive my email, I didn't check my email, so everything has been tracked over here properly, right? And also you can share some documents over here, and all those documents get stored in a particular this files tab. Whatever documents that you're sharing, it will get stored in this particular files tab. So most of you would be who are using Teams, you would be aware. So whenever you create a new team, what happens is it creates a SharePoint site in the backend, right? So for each channel, like I have created multiple channels. So basically I have created a team for complete Contoso project, Contoso organization. Okay, and in that I can have multiple departments or multiple projects running, or we need to have multiple discussions for different related to different topics. So we can create multiple channels over here, right? So each channel, when you create each channel, that will be a folder created in the SharePoint as a backend. So I'll quickly open the SharePoint. Okay, so this is the default document library. So whenever you create a team, a SharePoint site has been created. And in this SharePoint site, in the default documents folder, you will have all the channel folder created. So if you see here, I have a general finance HR project team. So all these folders will be created, and whatever documents that you're sharing in the respective channel, that will be getting stored in the respective folder over here. Okay, so it allows you to easily collaborate. You no need to worry about I put my document on my laptop and nothing like that, right? Because it's all in the cloud now. Okay, easily you can just go and update the documents. For example, I no need to even download this and do anything. I can just directly open it from the Teams itself, and I can do whatever changes I need to do it and update it. Okay, so it's really not required that you should have the desktop apps for all these things, right? So you cannot tell that I don't have this thing installed. So everything you can do it from the Teams itself. It's not only from the desktop Teams app, even from the browser itself. You can do all these things. Okay, so this is how you can effectively collaborate with the other peoples, like a chatting, co-author files, and keep track of the conversation, organize team project by channel. Okay, here I just want to add one more point. Here you can even create, these are all channels. So for example, when you create a team, you will be adding members who will have access to this team, right? For example, I have added 25 members. Okay, so the 25 members will have access to all the channels. They will be having for all the channels. That is how the teams works. In case if you feel like, okay, I want five people to be who will be discussing on the budget, like consider that leadership team, they want to discuss something more budget related things or critical things or like which is confidential things. Okay, they cannot do it over here, so they need a place where only the specific set of people can discuss on that. So here you have an option to create a private channel also, where only specific group of people will have access to that. Okay, so when you're creating a channel, you have an option standard or private. Okay, so when you select private, it becomes as a private channel, and that private channel will be accessible only for the certain set of people, like whomever you're adding there, who are adding as members, only those members will have access. Okay, and this is completely, it's a private, which means that it will create a separate SharePoint site. It will not be using the same site what this contest or team has created. It will have a separate SharePoint site. It is not accessible by anyone. Okay, so when you are creating the private channels, there is a detailed document in docs.microsoft.com which you can go through it. What are the best practices that you need to follow? What is the governance around that when you create the private channels? So you need to ensure that when you before creating that one. Okay, so these are the features that is available when it comes to chatting and collaboration perspective, co-authoring and one-to-one group chats, organized team projects by channel, keeping the private channels, all the conversations are tracked and everything. Right. And coming to the next thing, so after online meetings, calls, and chats, the next thing is what about the process automations? Right, so we have everything in the teams. We also need to do day-to-day activities. There should be some sort of process automations that needs to be integrated with Microsoft Teams also, right? So you have the powerful tools which is a low code tools like which you call it as power platform, right? Power apps, power automate, and then power BI, power virtual agents. These four things are called power platform, right? So all this, the complete power platform is low code or there is zero code, which means that in order to build any app or in order to create any workflows, you no need to write any sort of code. It's all purely like a kind of configuration part. Okay, it's all completely low code. Within using Excel formulas, drag and drop, you can create the powerful applications or powerful apps, and also you can automate the process. Okay, consider, like I'll quickly show you one app that was developed by Microsoft during this COVID condition. Okay, so few months before, like in I think in March, what Microsoft has done is they have created an app called crisis communication. Okay, so for each organization they have just they've built this particular app which can be reused by any organization, and they can modify this app based on the organization need, and they can import it. Okay, so whatever you're seeing here, this particular app I have just added as my personal app. So what happens is in each organization the employees can just just add this particular app. Okay, so before that there is a complete step-by-step process how you can import this particular app, and what are the things that you need to consider. Okay, so there is a detailed document regarding this, but I'm not going into that detail. I'm just going to show you this particular app, how it was built using Power Apps and Power Automate, and how it is easily integrated with Teams without writing code. Okay, so if you see here, so being an just an associate, I'm just coming to this crisis management app, so I can see all these options available. Company news. Okay, when I click on company news, it just displays me the company news like this. Okay, and helpful tips during the COVID conditions. Okay, just some of the helpful tips over here. What is the emergency contacts? Okay, so like this it has been there. And if I want to make any request, okay, so I just make a request. uh, Please let me know when office will be reopened. something like that. I just want to send a message or raise a request like this due to during this time. Okay, once it submits, this is a purely a personal app which will be used by all the employees, and whatever you see here, it's completely built using Power Apps without writing code. Okay, so now, so I made a request and all these things, like you can see that fact, FAQ, links, emergency contacts. So obviously there should be a admin center where all these things should be manageable, right? So when you import this particular app, automatically it creates a team also. Okay, so I'll quickly go to the team. When you do this deployment, it automatically provision a team also. So this is the team that has been automatically created when you deploy this particular app. So if you see, there is one tab called crisis communication. Okay, so this is for the admin people. So this particular team will be accessible by only by the admin people, and this is how the admin center looks like for this crisis communication. Okay, so all this company contacts, company news, helpful tips, links, and everything. So when you go here, okay, company news. Okay, I just click on it. So these are the company news. If I want to add something new, I will be able to add it. So being an administrator, I'll be able to update the contents, administer the contents, or manage everything from my side. And all these data are getting stored in SharePoint. Okay, so this is completely built using SharePoint, Power Apps, Power Automate. Okay, so if you remember, I made a request. Okay, when the will be opened. Okay, so if you see, with the help of a flow, what happens is it sends a notification or sends a card kind of thing. This is called adaptive card. Okay, so instead of it sends an email to the to the administrators, and they go through the email, click on the link, and whatever they either they need to respond back or they need to provide some inputs. Instead of doing everything going to different place, what it happens is automatically the flow, whenever a new request has been raised, the flow has been triggered, and that flow creates this adaptive card and just send it this one. So I asked a question, please let me know when the office will be open. So being the administrators, I can just go here, chat with this person or email this person. Okay, this is just an example. Okay, so this adaptive card is just constructed in the using JSON, and it is put it in the Microsoft Flow. Okay, so this complete things, right? This complete automation process with is built using Power Apps, Power Automate. Okay, and then with the help of SharePoint as a data source. Okay, so that is how you can bring all these features. You can build lot of apps and bring that into Microsoft Teams and make the process automated instead of doing it manually or instead of doing through emails and other stuffs. Okay, even you can bring a lot of Power BI and all those things. So if you go to this Contoso team, I was telling that you can easily integrate with apps, right? So if you go here, I'll just go to general. If you click on this, when you can go to any of the channels, and when you click on the plus icon, add a tab. Okay, you can see these many apps are available. It's not just only Microsoft apps, you have non-Microsoft apps also. So you can see here. You can bring Jira, you can bring a Trello. Okay, so whatever you want to bring it, you can easily bring it over here. Okay, forms, if you're building forms, any forms. Okay, so all those things can be easily, for example, Yammer, whatever it is, I've brought Yammer into it. Okay, Yammer, you have multiple groups in the Yammer, right? I just want to bring this Yammer group demo. So you no need to open the Yammer and see all the conversations over here. Automatically it will be shown directly. I've added as a tab, right? Similarly, you can add n number of tabs like that. Okay, so you can bring everything easily to a single place. Okay, you can bring the PowerPoint presentations. If you have any videos, you can bring that videos and add it over here. So it helps you to easily integrate with other apps like Office 365 apps, so non-Microsoft apps, and even you can integrate it with the custom apps or line of business apps that you're building it.
Just like we have a one question.
Yeah.
So can we make tax board and assign to developer just like Jira in the Teams? can we make a task board in the teams and assign to the
Task,
business development
talking
team?
about task, you're talking about task, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have planner available, right? Where you can create all the tasks and add that particular thing to this particular teams. You have planner available for that. You can where you can create or manage all the tasks assigned to your associates, and you can add that as a tab over here.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So that's what. So like you can make use of other Office 365 apps which are all available, and you can bring that one into a specific Microsoft team. Okay. So next one is I'll just quickly try to cover it up. So how to roll out teams. So this is a general thing, like how to roll out and drive adoption. So there is a proper detailed documentation available over here, how to roll out teams. Okay, so these are the general steps that we follow. Okay, when you're planning to roll out teams, or when you want to upgrade from a Skype for business to teams. So this is a proper, there is a documentation available which is having a frameworks, which is having some advisors, okay, which helps you to do the deployment successfully. Okay, it's just not a deployment. You will tell there are a lot of stages involved. Just you need to get started. Okay, you need to understand what are the features available in Microsoft Teams. You need to go through at least the end user training kind of thing to understand the features, and then slowly do the deployment phase by phase. It is really not required that you deploy everything at a single things. It depends on organization to organization. Okay, so I recently we have taken a session on how to you can effectively upgrade from Skype to Teams, where I've given all the approaches based on organization to organization best practices. Okay, so I can try to share that particular recorded session. Okay, so it gives you a clear idea about like how your organization, based on your organization strength and everything, right? You can decide which path you need to choose. Okay, so you can do phase by phase deployment. First, you can only deploy certain features, and then meetings and conferencing, and then voice. And the main important thing is adoption, right? Adoption and training is one critical thing that you need to have while you are doing the deployment. Okay, when you are rolling out it. So all the useful links are provided in this, which you can make use of it. Okay, I quickly want to cover one more topic alone, like a virtual events. Okay, so obviously when you're working remotely, virtual events becomes one of the important thing, right? So even though last few months, once the lockdown has started, okay, the all the conferences, all the events, and everything became as a virtual event, right? And even within the company also, within the organization also, since we shifted towards the remote work, there is no interaction, obviously, right? There is no like when you are in office, obviously every quarter or something like that, you have get a chance to attend the town halls, or there will be a site of HR meetings where they will be giving some announcements, news, right? And also with the leadership team, you will have a where you can meet them in person. So all these things has become a virtual events, right? How Microsoft is helping you here, okay, for these virtual events. Okay, so till now we have seen like online meetings were there. Yes, online meetings, call, chat, and everything. But at the org level, or when it comes to an event or a conference or a kind of trainings, webinars, so Microsoft Teams provides you something called live events. So if you consider this is the best example, whatever the event, whatever the webinar that we are attending now, it's a live event. Okay, so we can make use of the live event, and we can do all these things like a news and announcements, employee engagement, on demand events, live events. Okay, so on demand, on demand sessions and all, when you want to have it, it makes use of all the powerful AI features. Okay, all these videos are getting stored in stream, and with the help of powerful AI features, you have a lot of things with that, right? So live events is one of the critical thing which helps you for all these virtual events when you're working remotely. Okay, so if you see at the high level, so up to 1 lakh people can view the live broadcast. Okay, so there are different roles available. So I think like you are experiencing an attendee view. Okay, you are an attendee now. So there are different roles. Like one is a producer, one is a second is a presenter. Okay, and the third one is attendee. So you are already experiencing the attendee view. Okay, so and also this can be produced like a live event. It's just not only with Microsoft Teams. Okay, so these are the different ways that you can create live events. One is through Yammer, one is through Microsoft Team, and one is through Stream also. Okay, so each and everything has its own features or what do you call like a scenarios why you need to go with each and everything. Okay, so this session also we have a detailed session related to this live events in Microsoft Teams. Okay, I can try to share the recorded session on that. Okay, so this is what high level, this is what it is. Okay, yeah, so you don't need to have anything specific over here. Just Microsoft Teams itself will help you to produce these live events. Okay, so you don't need to use any other additional tools or softwares for these things basically. Okay. And this is the detailed steps with virtual events and communications. Okay, and apart from that, okay, just I'll close it in 2 minutes. Okay, just want to show you. This is just not Microsoft Teams, right? It's all complete Office 365. Okay, when you go to Office 365, all these apps are available, which you can work remotely. You don't need to depend on anything over here. It's all cloud based, right? So you have mobile where you can access your Outlook, you can access your Office apps, you have a desktop. It's all in the cloud, and you don't need to worry about anything like I need to install something. Okay, and all these things can be integrated with the Teams. You can bring everything, whatever you're seeing here, like SharePoint. It can be forms, it can be calendar, it can be Outlook. Obviously, the things are there. So to do whiteboard, so all these things, it is easy for me to bring it to Teams just by adding as an app. Okay, so at the end, like Microsoft Teams is going to be one place for you to collaborate and communicate. And even it doesn't matter you are in office or you are in a home or anywhere, and you can use any device and it can be of any platform. Okay, and also since we are doing this remote work and I'm not sure how long it is going to get extended, right? And not sure about the future. Okay, but few things that we need to really take care. Okay, so this is the remote work checklist that we have it. Okay, anyhow I'll share this one. So few things really we need to take care. Okay, when we go to office, obviously we take lot of breaks, we have enough time for lunch and all those things. Even like whereas when you work from home, obviously when you work from home the things gets changed. We feel like okay, we are working from home, we have family and everything, like okay, like relaxedly you can work, but that is not the real case, right? There is a lot of difference when you work from office and when you work from home, because like morning 9 o'clock you will be sitting and continuously you will be sitting in the system for almost 10 to 12 hours or more than that. But whereas in office you will just complete in 9 10 hours, you will be coming back home, right? So make sure that, like, and again here you don't meet friends and all those things. Make sure that Teams gives you an opportunity to uh, collaborate with your co-workers, not only for professionally, also the like casual things. Okay, and engage with your team. Okay, just not only related to your work, take proper breaks, take so all these things are provided in this healthy boundaries. Okay, how you should be mindful and inclusive, how you can record your meetings. Okay, bring the team together, and one most important thing is have some fun. Okay, just don't concentrate just on the work, because I know that how the remote work is working, right? It's like continuously it's a kind of stressful work. Okay, so yeah. uh,
So could you please paste this URL in the notepad so that
yeah,
every
yeah,
attendee can see?
yeah,
So
sure.
make a font little larger.
I will add it because this is in my personal, this is a PDF file. Okay, I'll share you the link for that. I will just add it in my PPT and I'll share that with you. I already have the reference session. I will add it.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so I already have this reference session. Okay, so this is what it is. So everything, all the information, how you can productive, everything is being provided. Okay, and there are other factors also. This is just at the high level, being an end user perspective, or being a like high level, we have given all these details. But security part, access control, like all these things are there. Okay, which we need to, like a conditional access, identity protection. So all these things will be taken care by the infra team or end user computing team, to in order to make sure that we access all the things in a right manner. Okay, so yeah, so thank you so much, Jay. That's it from my side. Sorry, I took additional 5 or 10 minutes more.
Okay. Okay, that's nice. So thank you. Thank you. So it was a wonderful presentation. So if you have any question related to this session, so you can just type on the QA panel. And one more thing, just I want to ask you, that's just how is your remote work experience is going on? So how it is flexible, or means how are you managing the team? So can you share your experience, your personal experience of your organization?
Yeah, currently, like yes, I'm working with I'm working for Cognizant, as well as I'm working with the two other clients also. Right, I have not even gone to my office. I have just now I moved to a new project also. Okay, where I have not even gone to office one day. I've never met anyone. Even starting from the kickoff meeting till now, like almost 1 or 2 months over, everything was through Microsoft Teams only. All the collaboration perspective, calls, meetings, everything went through the Microsoft Teams, and there is no like, when you compare it with when you're working from office and remote, there was no much difference. Like a delivery perspective, there is no deviation or anything like that. It was productive. Okay, I can tell that it was quite productive, and all the three things. It only not with only Cognizant, whatever the clients I'm working with, everywhere we are using Microsoft Teams only for all our collaboration and day-to-day activities. So everything, like we are not using emails, like everything now we started using channels, because we don't want to flood the emails also. Okay, it is easy for me to go, okay, anything related to this project, I go to this particular team and verify, and documents, everything is there in that place. I no need to worry about, okay, where I kept this particular document in my folder. If something happens to my laptop, what will happen? Nothing like that. It's more productive and easy for me also.
Okay. So we have so the last question. So which is better? The Slack is better for the Teams communication, or the Microsoft Teams is better? So according to your thought.
Uh, See, here I cannot compare it with the other products. Like, yeah. So when it comes to Teams, these are the features, or these are the advantages, basically, which I found, which I'm using it also, like like a past a few months. Okay, so that's what I feel, because mostly we work on Office apps, right? Word documents, Excel sheets, okay, all these documents, and here you have all these integrated features available over here. I don't need to even need a desktop app. I can just directly do everything from the Teams itself. So for me, it was like really an advantage for me, since like we are using all Office 365 and all Microsoft products. It is pretty much easy for us to do everything in a collaborative manner.
Okay, thank you, Vijay. So it was your wonderful session, and hopefully attendee has got a lots of information about Microsoft Teams for the remote work. And thanks for coming to take over Nepal Series 18. Thanks.